I shoot for a living. Part of what I do in life is that I shoot for a living. I get paid to shoot. So this week I have been spending so much time at the range where we shoot. And while at the range, God was talking to me about the Bible verse, put on the full armor of God, Ephesians 6 verse 11. And when he started talking to me, he was talking to me in the language of military and in the language of shooting. I was hearing that for the first time, so of course I was in awe and I was humbled that he was talking to me in the language that I have never heard him speak to me before. So let's talk about what he said to me about putting on the full armor of God and how that aligns with shooting in the military. So when we are going to the range in the military, we put on our full armor. What does that mean? The first is that we put on what we call the ACH, where civilians will call your helmet. ACH to protect your head from being fractured, destroyed, whatever you can call it, from being blown off or blown away, so that you will not be headless. If you took your head to the range, you should take your head out of the range. So we put on the ACH, then we put on our eye pro. The eye pro is a pair of glasses designed to protect your eyes. You are protecting your eyes because you don't want to go blind. Bullets are very powerful. They can take your entire eyes off and you'll be eyeless. So your eye pro protects your eyes. And then we have your ear pro, of course, to protect you from being deaf and messing up your eardrums and stuff. We have the ear pro or ear plugs that you also put on. When you're done with this section, you then have what you call your hydration system, also called your water or camel pack. Then you have your IOTV. Some people can call it the bulletproof vest or whatever you call it in the civilian space. But IOTV protecting your chest, every part of you. Then you have your taps. Your taps also are for you to keep your bullets or magazines. Now, you have all of those things put together for protection. That's what we call the full armor. No wise person, no human being actually shows up at that range with the intention of shooting or firing. You don't have that, because what you're saying is that you're here to commit suicide. Any part of you can go off. And then while we are shooting at the range, no human being is expected to be walking across, walking by. You cannot even be taking a walk. Once we start shooting, everybody is supposed to be still and stay where they were supposed to stay or assigned to stay. Now, when we notice any movement doesn't even have to be any human being. Movement, usually, sometimes we see ostriches and those pretty animals or wildlife walking past or walking through. Once we see animals, we say ceasefire. Once any human being moves anyhow, we cease fire. The reason for that is because animals and human beings are important to us, and at no point are you supposed to kill anybody. You're not even supposed to, put your weapon out if your intention is not to destroy. You never point your weapon at anything you don't intend to destroy. So when you go to the range, you put on your full armor, and of course your weapon is there. Some other people can call it guns or whatever, we call it weapons. So we show up at the range with that full battle rattle, and then God is saying, put on the full armor of God. Ephesians 6 verse 11, your breastplate of righteousness. We have your helmet of salvation. We have your, there's something about truth. Let me check my phone right away. I want to quote it properly. I'm at the range, so my mind is everywhere. So just bear with me. Let me look through it right now. Yes, so full armor of God, Ephesians 6:11, belt of truth. We have our belts that we use also. And one of the reasons why you have your belt at around your stomach is to protect your core. So the Bible is saying that your belt of truth is designed to protect your core and to help you live according to the truth and the word of God. You have your breastplate of righteousness. I mentioned IOTV, to protect your mind, guarding your heart, with all diligence, so because out of it flows the Guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows, the tree of life. Out of it flows the life of God. As a man thinks in his heart, so is that man. Everything that happens to you and in you, the template starts from your heart. It starts from your soul. So the breastplate of righteousness, you protecting and symbolizing a life that reflects God, purity. Now you also have the shield of faith. It represents the protection that comes from God, helmet of salvation, and then you have your sword of the Spirit, which is the weapon. Now let's go to that full armor of God. One important thing God said to me was the full armor of God, not the half armor of God, not some armor of God, not reserve armor of God, not the empty armor of God, the full armor of God. Because when you're talking about being a child of God, it's a full subscription. It's not a monthly subscription. It is not a free trial where you can cancel after 30 days. It is not a quarterly payment kind of thing. When you're talking about being a child of God, it's a full subscription where you are committed to the covenant. And the full armor of God is you showing up like a child of God. You understand that life is a battle. And then when you show up at the range of life where shootings are going on, where there are spiritual things going on, you are dealing with principalities and powers. You are saying, lift up your heads, O ye gates, be ye lifted, ye everlasting doors. When you show up in the range of life, you don't show up like a civilian. You show up with the full armor of God. You don't show up in mufti, just putting on your face cap and shirts and stuff and saying, oh, range, what's up? And then you go with your weapon and then you start firing. No, when you go into the range, you go with your full battle rado. You put on what you're supposed to wear, protecting your head. Even now in the range of life, you have to protect your head. You protect what you hear. Your eyes, your glasses, you protect what you see. Your mind, you protect everything. Because guess what? There's so many distractions. And there's something also very important at the range that God taught me. When you want to shoot, you don't just start shooting. There are different levels of shooting at the range. The first is what we call the zero in, where you have a diamond, and in that diamond there's a circle. So that diamond is in a circle. And for you to qualify to the next stage of shooting, you have to put in 8 targets, 8 bullets in that diamond. That is called grouping. 8 bullets in that diamond. That is called grouping. So when you want to shoot, we start by going down, which is called a prone position. You lay down, you are lying down flat, and then you put your weapon on some form of stabilizer. It's called prone supported. So you support your weapon on something, and then they say to you that load your magazine, and then they tell you that you can fire. So once you try, or once you want to start firing, now you look through whether it's your iron sight or your CCO. You look through a particular thing that points you towards that diamond that you are supposed to target. And once your eyes are on that diamond, you cannot take your eye away. So you cannot look around or flinch or wink or do something funny. No. Once you lay in that position, prone position, you see your diamond and you are about to put your finger on the trigger. Once you put that eyes, you must be still. No more shaking. You are not moving your eye, not moving your head, not moving your body. You are going to lie down like you are dead. And what is working at that point? Your eyes on that diamond and your finger. And guess what? The final thing is your breathing. Because those 3 things, you get into the steady position, first of all, then your trigger, then your aim, which is that diamond you want to go in, and then your breathing. Those 4 things work together. And then why am I mentioning this? Because in the range of life, once your eyes are away from the diamond and from the goal, you are going to be distracted. You are not permitted to shake. You are not permitted to move around. You are not permitted to be distracted. Once your eyes are off God, there will be consequences. Once your eyes are off the presence, the power, and everything tied to the Holy Spirit, you are not going to hit your target. You will not hit your goal. You will not zero in. You will not qualify. Once your eyes are off Jesus, you will see the consequences. Like, you can go test and see. Once your eyes are off Jesus, that's why you would hear, be still and know that I am God. It is not a suggestion, it is an instruction. When you are in that steady position where God says that if my people that are called by my name shall humble themselves, once you lie down and your head and your eyes are focused on that diamond, you know that you are not going to move. At that point, you become immovable, unshakable. If you need to qualify, that is not the time to be thinking of what to cook at home. It is not the time to be checking your phone on social media. It is not the time to be distracted. No, it is the time to get your bullet in that diamond, because if you don't get your bullet in that diamond, you are not going to qualify. Once you start getting distracted, your breathing is being affected, you are not squeezing your trigger properly, everything would go off. No matter how beautiful you are, you will not qualify. No matter how intelligent you are, you will not qualify. There's a way to zero in at the range. Be still and know. Be still and know. To get to the next level of qualification and firing, you will have to zero in. Initially, I struggled to zero because my eyes were always moving. My eyes will move, my body would move. And when I say move, I don't mean dancing. Just a little shift, just a little shift, just a little shift. And every time they will say, you are changing your side picture, you are changing your side picture. You are changing your side picture means that you are not looking in the direction of that diamond like you're supposed to look at that diamond 8 times. So once you start firing that bullet, it is that same position you are supposed to take to fire all your bullets, so that at least 8 out of 10 will get into that diamond. But once you take your eyes off, you wink, you move, you do whatever, you have changed the entire side picture, you have changed the entire vision, you've changed how you saw the first one. It's not how you're seeing the second one, or how you saw the first, second, and third. It's not how you're seeing 4, 5, 6. How you saw the first is the same way you must see the last. One direction, one direction. So changing your side picture in the range of life means you are not going to qualify. You will struggle. Changing your side picture means you are being distracted. There is a battle between your spirituality and your carnality. There's a battle between you pleasing God and you trying to please men. You know, sometimes we show up to please men, to please women. Sometimes we just show up to please human beings. When you are at the range, you are focused on one thing, zero in, focused on your target, because you know that that's why you are here. So in the range of life, you need to first of all put on the full armor of God, not some of the armor of God. When we go to the range, we don't think, maybe I should put on my helmet and not put on my glasses, because you can protect your head and lose your eyes. You can protect your eyes and lose your ear. So you are doing what? Putting on the full armor of God. And it is the same thing in life, in the scriptures. You are protecting your head, protecting your mind, protecting your eyes, protecting your ear, protecting every part of you. Because you know that those are gateways, the bridge between life and death. Any error, any mistake can make you cross over to heaven. You just hear, well done, good and faithful servant. So putting on the full armor of God is you guarding every part of you like God designed that you should put it on. You don't just wake up in the morning and run out. No, we don't do that. We start with spiritual intelligence, where we say to ourselves, I would enter your gate with thanksgiving in my heart. Jesus is my friend. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. He's my friend. He would never leave me. I have decided to follow Jesus. So in the morning, we hand over our day, our range to God. and we say, Lord, I shall show up as my office, as I show up at home, as I show up as a wife or a husband or a child, as I show up as an entrepreneur, as I show up at anything that you called me to show up, I am showing up with my full armor. I am showing up at the range of life the way that I'm supposed to show up. I'm not showing up haphazardly. I'm not showing up without bullets. Imagine going to the range with your weapon and you do not have bullets or magazines. What exactly are you going to do there? You don't go to the range of life to dance. That is not TikTok. That's not where you are dancing. Nobody shows up at the range to whine. No. So when you are showing up at the range of life, you are putting on your full armor. Some of us are tired, we're unhappy, we're frustrated because guess what? We don't have the full armor of God. We have a form of godliness but no power. The gift of the Spirit is there because it's the gift, not the fruit of the Spirit. There's so many people who are anointed but badly behaved, anointed but commit adultery, anointed. They have issues with domestic violence, anger management, because the full armor of God is the blend of the gift of the Spirit and the fruit of the Spirit. So when we are talking about the full armor of God, never again show up at the range of life without understanding that you need to show up full. Let's be serious about being Christians. Let's be serious about being children of God. Let's be committed to the covenant. Don't just show up and pick what you want, pick the path that you want. For example, you cannot say that you want to follow Jesus and you are treating your partner in a terrible way. You are disrespecting, dishonoring, cheating on your partner. No, it is not in our script. It is not in our scroll. It is not in our covenant. It is not in our constitution. Nothing about cheating, wickedness, adultery, fornication is in the constitution. That you don't like it does not mean I wouldn't say it. We know the truth. If you want to go against the truth, that's on you. But we cannot deny that we do not know the truth. So putting on the full armor of God is the only way we can survive the battlefield of life. If life is crunching and pressing you, you don't have the full armor, my darling. If life is making you suspect God, you may not have the full armor. You may have some of the armor. Maybe you left home with your ACH, but you forgot your eye pro, ear pro, IOTV, helmet, your tabs, everything. Or maybe you had your weapon, you didn't take your bullets or your magazines. Maybe you even had your weapon and your helmet and eye pro, ear pro, but you didn't have your IOTV and your taps, your hydration system. All of these things work together. Like life is a battle. Battles you know about, battles you don't know about. When you're sleeping and snoring, God is showing up and fighting your battle. Life is a battle. And people who win are people who are prepared and people who have the full armor. So get your armor first and ensure that your armor is full. Thank you so much. I'm about to go rest because tomorrow is another day at the range. I've been ranging all through the week, shooting. I shoot for a living. I love to shoot. And as I learn and God speaks to me, I'll keep sharing with you. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, share this with your friends. Let's continue the conversation out till I come your way again pretty soon. Remember to put on the full armor of God. Don't remove your armor. Don't take anything out. Put everything on. I love you. Bye.